What's going on, everybody? It is Owen Killwall. Super excited to bring you this video today on which is better, Rochester versus Troy. Now, growing up here myself in Rochester Hills, right on the border of Rochester and Troy, there's always kind of been a debate which one's better to live in. I am non-biased in this one, although I did grow up in Rochester Hills. I went to Avondale High School, so that's in Auburn Hills. So leave that as it is, and let's get going on this. So growing up here in Rochester Hills and right on the border of Troy, and now becoming a realtor servicing these areas, I pretty much know these areas front to back and what's good about them and what's not. So I do want to come on this video and share a little bit of their unique characteristics to you so we can see which one may fit for you. Let's do a quick overview of Rochester and Troy for those listeners who may not know these locations. Rochester and Troy are both centrally located, very close to the highways and about 15 miles north of Detroit. So it takes about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the traffic, to get from our location in Troy and Rochester down to Detroit. So let's get into the pros of living in Rochester Hills. So living in Rochester Hills, I can tell you that some of my personal pros is the family community and just how awesome it is and how easy it is to kind of just bike around the area, at least where I grew up personally. Um, Me and my buddies would always just bike up to the local grocery store and go grab some snacks and drinks, or we'd bike up to our local dairy treat spot where we go get some sweets and ice cream. And the mobility of everything is fairly close, and you don't have to go super extremely far because everything's pretty much within your realms of distance, where you can walk, run, or bike to it. So I think on that note, proximity is power in this case. Another pro here for Rochester Hills is going to be their top-rated schools, and this is actually going to fall in a similarity for both Troy and Rochester schools. Speaking in regards to both schools here, both schools are really highly rated, and actually I just learned recently some of the top rated in the country, not even just the state but the country. So that is a huge driver for families looking to move into either Troy or Rochester. They're looking to get those great school systems we have here, and let me tell you, you can't go wrong with either one. They're both fantastic options. I said one strong pro that Rochester does have is their downtown area. Now, Rochester downtown has been growing in younger nightlife and has just been a really great spot to be because it's just so close to where we live here in the area. And it's just awesome because you just get to go out with some of your buddies, go play some pool, go throw some darts, go grab some good grub, and just experience the overall downtown area. Not only that, though, but back onto the community side of things, downtown Rochester hosts an abundant amount of different events, such as Fire and Ice and the Rochester Downtown Lights, which is two different events that happen during the winter and Christmas season, which make downtown Rochester such an awesome place to go check out. That being said, on the flip side of things, although Rochester does have that downtown atmosphere, Troy not so much, but Troy does have this awesome, huge shopping center, which most of you probably know. It is Somerset Mall. Now, Somerset Mall is a place where you can pretty much find whatever you're looking for. It's a really high-end, nice, luxurious mall. Has plenty of different outlets and stores that you can walk into and go check out, and you could spend a whole day there. Definitely, that is one of the unique traits of being inside of Troy, is being close to those big shopping centers like Somerset Mall. Now, moving forward to some other pros of Troy. Now, we're going to see Troy has a very strong job market. This is because there are a lot of corporations and a lot of open jobs here in Troy, Michigan, because it actually is a very well-known city for business development and small business and corporations as well. So there's a diverse job market, but it's also a very strong market, which makes the city a very economically stable place to stay, which they have so much different good food. I can't even provide a list of recommendations because you're just going to have to go check them out yourself. And if I did have one recommendation, let's see what it would be here. What would it be? One recommendation. Honestly, they have a location in Troy and they have a location in Rochester. And you know what? It's not going to be a dinner. It's not going to be something fancy, but it's called Knapp's Donuts. So Knapp's Donuts, top tier donuts that you can get. They have a location in Troy. They have a location downtown Rochester. Definitely check out Knapp's Donuts. So good. So a lot of these things that we're talking about is Rochester versus Troy, and we found ourselves a lot in similarities rather than actually the unique features. I do think probably the most different unique features that Rochester is a little bit more tucked away and has that little downtown feel to it, where Troy is pretty much right in the mix of things and has a hustling and bustling community, all those shopping centers and whatnot. I'll go back to another similarity that we have, which is cost of living. Honestly, these two are so similar in cost of living, which I would say the only reason why maybe Troy is a little bit harder to get into is just because we don't see as many listings in Troy typically than we do in Rochester Hills. So just because of that, I would say it's a little bit easier to get into Rochester Hills, but both of them are typically highly competitive, and and their cost of living, because they're so close, is pretty much the same or close to the same. So that being said, that's kind of our comparison of Rochester versus Troy. Now, they do have so much in common and so much similarities. I mean, they're only a few miles apart from each other, and again, I grew up right on the border line on South Boulevard of Rochester and Troy, so I kind of have a feeling of both of them, and they really are so identical. People make it such a big thing, like which one's better, which one's better. I'm not going to say they're the exact same thing, because they're not, but they are very, very similar. And if you can get into either of these places, I think you're doing very well for yourself and for your family. So that being said, if there's anything I can do on my end to help you out, or if you have more questions on getting into or moving out of Rochester or Troy, Michigan, I'd love to be a resource for you. Go ahead and click my face, go look at my profile, and schedule a call with me on Calendly if there's anything I can do to help you out here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and we're excited to bring you more insight on more videos of the area. Take care.